Liberal democracy is the most successful form of government in modern history. But as we have discussed in a previous video, it seems to be in big trouble, as it faces tough challenges from autocracy, capitalism, and social media. Even if these challenges can be met, they are, unfortunately, not the only problems. There are multiple flaws like governing without actual majorities, superficial focus on the issues, fostering division, undue influence of lobbies and vested interests, and so on. If you fix all these, it would not be enough either. More fundamentally, democracy seems to have a hard time handling the key ingredient of modern life: complexity. Worldwide, there is a lot of disgust for politicians, surpassing that of lawyers, advertising agents, or smart-ass child prodigies. I don't think that's fair.
Shut up, Wesley!
They are jerks, of course, and they are people hopelessly clueless. Yet, the much bigger problem results from leaders trying their best to solve problems they are not able to fully understand. If you could time travel Plato, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, or John Stuart Mill into today's government, nothing would be gained. Surely, they would try their best to apply their grand theory of government to all and everything, but ultimately fail. Since people are no nails, you cannot use a hammer on them. They themselves, however, can swing the hammer, the sickle, the pencil, or whatever instrument is most helpful in their specific situation. The solution: let the people decide. Not a tiny elite, but everyone. At first glance, it seems to be a rather loony idea.
Nuts. Insane. Bonzo. No longer in possession of one's faculties. 3 fries short of a happy meal. Wacko!
Most of the people are blissfully ill-informed. That's not a real problem though, since diverse crowds are great in filtering out false information. Let's look at an easy example from the field of television. Suppose you are on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and are confronted with this question: which person from the following list is not a Starfleet captain? A. Benjamin Sisko. B. Jean-Luc Picard. C. James T. Kirk. Or D. Harry Kim. Let's suppose you don't know the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars and immediately turn to the audience. 9 recognize only the Sisko and another 9 know it's poor old Harry. 30 know Kirk and Picard, and the majority of 52 people are completely clueless. The result is as follows. Only 9% of the people know the answer, but still you can depend on the wisdom of the crowd, so the aggregation of views can be used to filter out less informed views. That's not all. It's not enough to filter out wrong information. You want your crowd to grasp the whole picture. You've probably heard about the story of the blind man and the elephant. A group of blind men were tasked to imagine how an elephant looks like, just by touching it. Every man touches a different part of the elephant, therefore coming to very different judgment about the nature of the elephant. "Oh, it's like a snake," says the guy touching the trunk. "No, it's a tree," argues the fellow at the legs. "No," interjects the one touching the ear, "it's clearly more like a fan." In this case, it is not enough to add up all the described body parts, but to integrate the different observations into a more comprehensive view. Let us suppose we have 4 friends trying to decide what movie to go to. 2 like to see an action movie, 1 a romantic comedy, and 1 a courtroom drama. Just aggregating the view is not enough. You want everyone to be happy with the decision, not only the majority. So you could integrate rather than aggregate the views by choosing a movie that included action as well as comedy and drama, or to decide on some other form of entertainment altogether. Okay, what about a situation where more people are involved? How many people does it take to change a light bulb? I have no freaking idea. I do whatever good German would do. Nothing. Trust that the appropriate authorities will do something at some time. Let's imagine we have an online platform that anyone can access. If you are angry about a broken light bulb, you just access it, make a short video with your observations and a very basic draft of a solution. replace bulb within X days, report when broken, charge the asshole who has so much money that he won't even notice when something is suddenly missing. Something like that. Okay, now you let the relevant crowd, in this case members of your community, discuss it for a certain time. You receive feedback not only in the form of thumbs up or thumbs down, but also with information why people are for or against it. Some people who are particularly interested in the proposal may join you to work on a workable proposal, which will be presented to the crowd again to be discussed, amended, redrafted, which light bulb to use, who is paying for it. After a few weeks, the final draft will be voted on. Every citizen gets an alert and the possibility to read the proposal or even the related discussions. If a certain percentage of the voting population participated, a simple majority in favor will turn the proposal into law. In the end, you will not only end up with more elimination, but also feel much better about yourself. Does this work with more complicated issues on a grander scale? Obviously, I cannot tell you that. But civilization is based on man's ability to cooperate flexibly and in great numbers.
The reason we dominate the planet is that we are the only animal capable of cooperating flexibly in very large numbers.
I just said that. A process that is centered around diversity, integration, independence, and decentralization can unleash the collective wisdom and awesomeness we are capable of. But are we not acting carelessly in the face of very real enemies to democracy? If some of these enemies want to turn back time, isn't it essential to keep us in the present before we start thinking about stepping into the future? And didn't you vote for the Green Party in 2000 and therefore are responsible for the Iraq War? Well, no, absolutely not. And it is very, very dangerous to be so complacent that the idea of progress is not entertained. Political systems are not inevitable. They do break down if people stop believing in them. A lot of the political discussion in Germany these days center around the rise of the far-right party AfD, Alliance for Germany. It's on its way to become the biggest party in several states. So the prevailing wisdom among career politicians seems to be to ban or block the party. You don't like what we are selling? Well, get over it. Or do you want an Austrian screaming at maps again? Instead of looking back in fear of what archaic system may return, we should try and find the strength to look forward instead.